Somebody should start. I have only
Yes.
questions are there. I will answer. That's it.
Yes. Okay, Adar.
Yeah, so can I start?
Yes.
Doctor, I have few questions with me, like 4 to 5.
Before questions, doctor advised you something, right? What you should do while we left the previous day. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So first, I want you to brief doctor about what you did. Did you get any light? Have you been resourceful enough? And then ask the question. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead.
Doctor, I researched about Chandrayan 3 and its useful effects. This Chandrayan Chandrayan 1 was launched October 22. Chandrayan 1 was actually failed because of the. So it failed because of the star tracker and poor thermal shielding. Then it had orbiter and impactor, and the Chandrayaan 2 had orbiter, lander, and rover. So in the Chandrayaan 3 is going to launch only rover and the lander, because the orbiter is already in the space for almost 7 years. I mean, it will stay there for 7 years. So Chandrayaan 1 detected the water molecules, and Chandrayaan 2 it successfully was inserted into the lunar orbit. So I have few questions, doctor. These are the doubts that I have.
Others, you said it lost its star tracking. What does it mean?
Star track. Doctor, I don't know, doctor. Star tracking, I researched, which I don't know.
Thermal shielding.
Thermal shielding means the body of the rocket.
Actually, Chandrayan 1 lost its communication. That is what the problem is.
Yes.
Yeah. Tanuj has something to say?
That's what I was also talking about, doctor. That's what I was also talking about, doctor.
What is it?
The Chandrayaan 1 lost its signal, so they left the space probe behind.
See, you are in the space and you have satellites.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. DrTPS, very careful.
Yeah, doctor.
Assume that this is the camera. Others is not looking at here at all.
Yes,
He is
doctor.
busy in preparing questions, probably. This is the camera, and
Yes,
this is the moon.
Yeah,
So the camera has to face the moon.
yeah, doctor.
Even if I am taking a rotation, when I am going behind, this also should tilt accordingly. Then only always it can see me.
Yeah, doctor.
Assume that I have an earth. The camera will move like this. When it moves, it should not go like this. If it goes, it is looking not on the ground. Earth is here. When it is here, the camera is looking at the ground. When it revolves,
Yes, sir.
it should also tilt accordingly.
Yes.
How it knows where to look at, where the camera is to be faced? Because the star will give its position with respect to earth, where to tilt it. So that means the roll, pitch, three directional movement of any spacecraft
Yeah, doctor.
depends on star locations. So you can see on satellite there are like thrown like 2-3 things can be seen. They are all star sensors. So assume while landing one of them get damaged. Finished. Others don't copycat. I am sure the sentence exactly anybody can Google and then copy the same thing and read and then say I learned it.
Yes, doctor.
I am not conducting examination in the school pattern.
Okay, doctor.
I want to know whether you understood or not. If you did not understand, question should come.
Okay, doctor.
Every word by word. That's how I teach my students. I don't worry about how much marks they get. I only look at how much they understood.
Okay, doctor.
So each technical term has to be understood very carefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, they're going to Chandrayan 3's plan is to go to the south pole of the moon. So in the south pole, there is a crater called Shackleton, and it is 4 kilometers.
Wait. What is there in South Pole? You tell me that. Spell it. Don't look
A
anywhere.
Shackleton crater.
What is that?
Crater. It's a crater it is created due to the asteroids. The asteroids attack on moon.
What is that? Created means what is that? Is it like a pakoda or it's like an apple?
No, doctor. Actually, it is like a.
I wanted
like
to
a
know whether you
hole.
are you able to see it. Are you able to visualize it?
No, doctor. But
What is that? Spell it.
Shackleton, Shakilton.
Next word.
Crator.
Did you look
Sorry,
at
ER.
Did you look at dictionary meaning of that crater?
Crater, I didn't. No, doctor. I didn't look at it.
Do you know that word?
Sir, I know the meaning of the crater.
Yeah.
Crater is just like an asteroid crashed on the moon.
What is
Any
that?
planet.
That means there is an asteroid there or there is a stone there.
Even Earth.
What does it mean?
It's a part of. No, sir. That means that an asteroid has crashed before. It just shows that an asteroid has crashed on moon before.
It doesn't matter whether asteroid crashed or not. I am only asking the meaning of the crater meaning.
Sir, a crater is like a plateau region, sir. That has a hole, sir.
It is a ditch, it is a valley, it is a hole. When something falls, you get a mark there, and that is a hole. It's like a hole. Okay, now let me ask you, how much
Yes,
depth
sir,
it
that's
has?
right.
How much depth it has?
4 kilometers.
4 kilometers, can you guess? Your house to your school distance is how much?
4 kilometers.
So
Okay, fine.
that much big ditch is there. Understood? See,
Yes, sir.
don't just read and then finish your syllabus. Visualize it. So on the South Pole, there are everywhere it is there. It's not only there. It is there in many places. So why did you mention it? I am not understanding. There is a ditch there. Let us not use too technical terms. There is a big ditch there. There is a big valley there. And you want the Chandrayan 3 to be landed there or what? Or you don't want? What does it mean?
Not on that crater, doctor. It's going to land near the crater, but actually in the south pole, not on the crater itself.
Okay, so why the word came there? Is it because it is risky? Then you can have some other place, right? Why do you want only on the South Pole?
No, doctor, it's not risky, and for settlement it is safe. Actually, when I researched it, that in the Google, the websites told that it's safe for living in the craters.
Why? That is why I asked you this many questions.
That's what even I don't know that, doctor. Actually, I have a doubt on it.
See, when there is a crater, it is much more safer because you will not fly away. It's easy to. That is why everywhere settlement in the earth also happened only on the valleys. There is a chance of river. There is a chance of water. There is more force. So many things are there. It is more closer to the center of moon. It is not on the surface. It's little inside, right? So it's safer. For many reasons it is safe. Yeah.
Then I have a doubt, doctor. Temperature of the moon is like almost minus 410 degree Fahrenheit to 250 degree Fahrenheit. So human body can only withstand 108 degree Fahrenheit. So can we survive that? That's what.
No, you just told that Chandrayan 1 had two problems. One problem was,
One problem was the star tracker was.
yeah, the direction. Second one was,
Then the metal body was like.
no, you used the word thermal shielding.
Yes, sir,
You read it without understanding. That's a problem. Thermal shielding is you cover with all the temperature difference, doesn't affect you.
Yes, sir.
So no human is going to be there with a naked body, right?
Yes.
They are put in a gadget. Yesterday I told you, the other day when we discussed, we told you they are all put in a gadget
Thermal
where
shielding?
temperature is also taken care of. Thermal shielding is done for every camera which we send up in the sky also.
Sun's solar winds and rays affect the humans. So we need to have the pressure and the the heat stable.
Every parameter we discussed earlier the last day. I have posted the video there without any of your face. I don't want to declare where I am doing it. Only my dialogue is there, in which I have already mentioned all this, Tanuj.
Sir, I didn't attend the last class.
That is why I am not sir. I told you DrTPS is my name, number one. Number two, I told you I already discussed this. You can look at it. That's why I am saying. I don't know whether you are recording,
Okay,
but I record because I value this. And I post it with my video specifically onto a YouTube, and it is already there.
Okay, what's the name of the video, sir?
You should know
Doctor.
DrTPS. Look at YouTube better. That's a minimum.
Okay, doctor. I'll check it out.
So what is the question? You are given only some information what you learned. What is the question, Adarsh?
Doctor, then another important thing. When we live in the earth, we feel so happy and like we don't feel restricted. We don't have to wear a suit or something, just a t-shirt, a pant, that is enough. But whereas if we go to moon, we have to wear suit. Then it is so like we feel restricted. So people get psychological effects. So what? How can we prevent that psychological?
Look at some video of people living in Russia.
Yes, doctor.
They are almost like people who are living in outer world.
Oh.
Don't think that everybody is in Coimbatore weather. You go to America in the winter, you have more heavier dresses which you cannot even imagine. When we go to Kailash or last month I was there in the Everest base camp.
Okay.
You cannot have a casual wear and then go there, right?
Yes, doctor.
So this is not a great issue when people go to moon. There are much more bigger problems have to be thought about when people go to moon. It is not worried about a dress, whether it is comfortable. You are not going because moon gives you a much happier location than Coimbatore, right?
Yes, doctor.
So that is not a reliable question or not a relevant question.
Okay.
Come to scientific things. What are all the things what you should look at when people have to go there?
Okay.
First understand what is the mission objective.
Chandrayan 3.
What is your mission objective? What is that when people go for a settlement? Assume. Now let me complete. Don't put comments. Just listen and then answer. Otherwise you will be busy in commenting and you will not write it down. I want you not to comment there, you write it down so that you get some points. Always objective and scope. When I speak to you, I have an objective and scope. When I go to a class, I have an objective and scope. When you are planning for a mission, which is settlement in Chandrayan or Chandrayan?
Rayan.
Chandrayan. Okay.
Yes, sir.
The English speaking people made it Chandrayan actually. So it is Chandrayan. Yan is movement. So Chandrayan, when we go there, your article or maybe your video is to plan a settlement. So what is your objective? You plan a settlement. Is it to have chapati and dosha there? Your idea is for a scientific
Permanently
research. No, it is not permanent settle. That's too far. You must understand you are going there for a scientific research. If you say for a permanent residency there and all that, it results into different discussions, which is not. Establishing a settlement in moon, which is totally hypothetical, which is not, it's only a dream.
Still declared.
So you have,
Not still declared.
no, let me finish better. Otherwise you speak, I will listen. I am trying to explain you something, then you could ask questions. Otherwise some very basic questions will come. That's why I want you to give some idea so that you can think in that line. You should have
Okay, sir.
the objective. And then you should know which are all the main steps to be taken. What are all the major considerations? And that consideration is what you are thinking, whether dress is heavy or not heavy, right? Then it becomes whether you can have a sustainable functional place there where you can have a residence. It's not your home. It's only an outpost. Outpost means a temporary place. Like when people travel from Tamil Nadu to Kerala, we have an outpost. People keep changing their role. Somebody will stay there for some time. After that, somebody else will. So they are called outpost. So like that, can we have an outpost? So what is the main objective? Main objective is scientific research. To conduct some extensive research on the lunar environment, the moon environment, lunar environment. That can be geology, astrophysics, astronomy, life science. So your basic interest is research. I am not thinking that a vegetable vendor is being settled in a moon for selling vegetables. The people who are scientific, who wanted to contribute in the scientific knowledge, technological development, to demonstrate, we need somebody to go there. And how long you can stay and all is a secondary question. Whether you can be sustainable there in living, that's a different question. So what are the scope? The objective is very clear. Scientific analysis, scientific reason. Even when Department of Space is made, Sarabhai made it very clear. Our idea is to have a scientific exploration of space so that we will become leaders on the globe. Understand, when Modi goes to America, he gets a respect not because India is a large country. We are scientifically great. So our shoulder can be up, saying that no, we also have a settlement in moon. And that is to do scientific research. So what are the steps? First step can be robotic mission. People will not go. Missions will go, robots will go. Scientific settlement, don't mistake that Adarsh is going to settle in moon. Settlement can be robotic settlement. So the mission can be only missions. Later can be human. And then when you want something, you are not going out and going to pick up the stones to do analysis. Then only the question of Adarsh, whether the temperature is how do I move and all that will come. We are not going. Actually, even if we go, we will be like a instrument only, because everything is connected. You are inside that. It's like you are in the form of a robot, but you are a human inside instead of mission. Like that only you can see people go to space. There is a movie in Malayalam which is called Robot, no, that android Kunyapan. I know Tamil also it would have come. So you look like a robot, but inside that, in a movie, when you want to demonstrate a robot, it is a human sitting inside and then doing all the play. It's like that. It's like a big drama. So what are the resources? Which is the landing site that comes in the key step. Others made that point first. But that is not the first one. The step comes later after you know what I should do. Okay. And what are the groundwork to be done before reaching there? In India, assume that we are planning. On earth, when we are planning, how to plan this. In the world, I don't think only India will work this. It will be a collaborative international program. Don't think India is doing alone. It never happens. We need help of the international role players. Okay. So it could be a shorter duration plan, then later it could be bigger. What are the considerations? One, assume that either, I told you, the Chandrayan 1, there are star sensors while landing or somewhere something goes, everything is gone. Communication doesn't happen. So most important is safety. Not necessarily human being. Safety of the equipments which you are planting, the robot which you are planting, the health and safety together. You have to understand the risk associated with that. Now, you were mentioning that the radiation, wonderful. The radiation exposure creates problem. No, Pranav was mentioning. That is one safety aspect. And you are in a microgravity effect. So your whole body will get sick. Lot of dust. Lunar dust is too heavy because gravity is less. Everything will start flying.
Dust will fly.
Yeah, that is one reason a ditch or a crater is much better. What are all the other potential hazards? People have to understand and learn about it. It is not everything we understood. Then third one, who has to be sent there? What are the training programs we have to have? Why am I saying
In a forest?
Why am I saying you will not be able to land in July? Because a crew selection has to be done, training has to be done. It is a crucial time. Yeah, Pranav asked something. What is that?
The main point is that we have to, before going, we have to take heavy training. We have to go into the forest and we're going to first survive in a deep forest. Doctors, we have to survive in a deep forest, doctor.
Why deep forest, Pranav? I don't understand. Is it that
Doctor, the training of Neil Armstrong was that.
No, don't quote that. I have already given some reasons for not quoting that. Okay. Pranav may believe that already people landed there. So last time I asked a question. If it is already landed, why after so many years nobody landed from same country? Okay. So I don't believe that people landed on moon. It's a fake story. Last time I told. I think at least what I told last time should have been transferred to Pranav at least some points. I believe that, or the scientific community in the world, except some people who are working for NASA, believe. But don't quote that because you are going for a competition in NASA, then don't do that. Anywhere else you can quote that very courageously. That's why I given one of the assignment was look at the Hawks movie. I don't know whether Adarsh has seen it or not.
Yes, sir.
I believe that I believe there is a group there. I believe there is a group in which at least somebody would have written what are all the points what I posted.
Yes. It was given and it was shared. Pranav landed only this yesterday, so that's why the gap.
No, but we have a group created with me.
Yes.
And I have not seen anybody putting what you learned from me during the session. Okay, that is the only reason I have not posted that video YouTube there. Otherwise, I am very sincere in posting it because it was not done. I thought I should also not indulge in such things, right? Naturally, what is done? There should have been somebody telling that no, this is what we learned. that is the place where we can have communication. The group is created for communication, right? If that is not happened, this is what will happen. People will not know what I discussed there. And link also would have been given. Everybody can see that. So if you do it, I will also do it. If you don't do it, I will not do it.
Enough. We take that.
Yeah. And the another one is the crew selection training. I am sure there are lot of places. Last time also I mentioned zero gravity training. India has got very limited resources, very limited experience. There are a lot of agencies who give extensive research on zero gravity. It is not sending them to forest. And such stories where Neil Armstrong was sent to forest and all is actually then better to send some tribals, You don't have to train them. Already they are in forest. That is actually rubbish and foolish. Don't take such bad quotes. Okay.
Person found this information.
This is what I'm saying. Don't believe on scientific informations on websites which are not very credentially approved by the whole world. Most of them could be fake.
Okay, doctor.
Okay, including global warming is a fake. Including moon landing is a fake. There are many scientific people who work parallel to that. I am not saying it. I look at both. So I am only saying use your wild knowledge to understand, wider knowledge to understand. Ask questions. Then the next one is international collaboration. So you need international collaboration for training them, putting them into that place. So all the resources, all the expertise from different country, how much they will collaborate is understood, not to be not disclosed. Maybe something will happen, something may not happen. Another one is there are a lot of international protocols. Not everybody can send people to every other planets, every other satellites. There are a lot of legal components to be understood. I cannot go to Antarctica and then put a flag there without scientific reasons, cultural values. So many things will come into place. Okay. So first thing is the purpose of settlement, then location, then infrastructure, then whether you need to have more sustainable activities, whether it is humanly possible, scientifically possible, such questions. If all these are understood, I think you can discuss about that subject. I can go on and on, but I don't think that is necessary.
Anuj?
Ma'am?
I thought you had a lot of.
Doctor, excuse me, doctor. I have another doubt.
Yeah.
Can I?
Actually, there are the moon dusts on the lunar surface. So, what it affect our respiratory system and also robots and other.
Again, Adarsh, you are asking a very different question. I am telling you, you are not opened with an open nose. You are inside a gadget. You are not going to breathe there. You are not getting exposed there. Everything is given with a pipe and oxygen will be in a cylinder. Atmospheric conditions will be in a cylinder where it is exposed to your body and as well as your breathing. So how does it happen?
And won't it affect robots and spaceships or other?
I did not get. Do you know that solar panel is used for creating electricity and why some of the countries are not able to do it? Same dust. So it is not a big problem only in that place. We have problem here also. And that is not the biggest issue. Cleaning is always possible, right? When you go with a camera also, camera can have. All that is possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Tanuj.
I have few questions to ask you, doctor.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. Did lunar life exist before human evolved on the earth?
It's a question which cannot be answered. Nobody knows. Traditionally, whether there were is your question. I don't think other than Earth.
Yeah. If so, that did somebody just get any trace amounts of those life?
If there is no life, then that question doesn't come, right?
Yeah.
Other than Earth,
Okay.
there is no trace of life anywhere on planets. Anywhere on planets are not there. Then how can it be on satellites? Moon is only a satellite, right?
Yes, sir.
Satellites are not meant for
Yeah,
living.
doctor.
Planets
Yeah,
are only
doctor.
meant for living.
True. Can I? Does liquid water exist under the lunar surface?
This also last time answered. There can be hydrogen, there can be oxygen, but the atmosphere is not in such a position where you have a combination to be made. The Prema, when
Okay.
moon mission happened, the first news came on the day, that was the Onam time when I was a guest in Jaipur.
Oh,
Jaipur Malayali
okay.
Samajam called me as a guest for Onam program. That was
Okay.
2008, yeah, 2008 I think. Yeah. Then there was a news which came. Malayala Manorama printed a big bold news which says Chandranil Vellamundu. The news was Chandranil Vellamundu. So generally when I go for any cultural program also, I ask people to interact with me. So I spoke about Onam, the festival, culture. Then somebody asked a question. Today's Manorama says Chandranil Vellamundu. Is it true? I said there is a Vellamundu and that is Madhavan Nayar's Mundu.
So that's way.
So, so don't believe such newspaper headings and all that, right? Actually, there is no Vellamundu in moon. There is hydrogen,
no water.
oxygen doesn't mean H2O is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we can do combustion process, but the water would boil away.
It
During
doesn't
the
happen.
atmosphere.
It will not boil because he says the temperature is too low, right? It is not temperature. It is not boiling. It is not heat. It is not cold. The atmosphere has to be in such a fashion where, see, for example, when the temperature is too low, nitrogen is in a liquid form. That liquid nitrogen is what we are using in the cryogenic engine to boost the rocket.
Oh.
So if you change the temperature, then it becomes so blasting effect. Suppose you have got a lot of oxygen which is much higher than 20%. Assume that you are put in a chamber where a lot of oxygen is there. A small spark
One
is
problem.
enough to make fire because oxygen promotes fire. So
Sir,
it
it's
is.
going to be doctor. It's going to be danger.
That is why
Too
lot of
much
parameters are measured, understood. All that is, it is not the dust which makes me not to breathe is not the problem. There are much more atmospheric problems which I already explained last time. You must understand atmospheric conditions are different. I have seen people when I went to Navy inspection, when I was part of Government of India in the security Navy inspection, we also seen people who are going for diving, underwater diving and all that. Once somebody goes underwater for some exploration, they may stay 3 hours or 4 hours. After 4 hours, they are directly taken to hospital. Even they are inside the chamber. Because small change in pressure will give a lot of problems to you.
muscle problems.
Your whole body will crack. You will not be. That's why Neil Armstrong cannot come and stand and then give a lecture on the media. That itself shows it was fake.
Yeah.
It's humanly impossible, right? They have to be in a hospital immediately. You think that somebody goes to moon and then gives a lecture to the public? It's inhuman, right?
I heard most of the news that Neil Armstrong's mission was.
No, our aim is not that. So let us not violate. So I am only saying don't quote from there and then take that example, because there will be people both way. Somebody supports, somebody. Our aim is not to contradict or have conflict, right? Look at parameters which are essential for us to understand the objective and scope, understand what are all the things. Based on that, you create a beautiful script. And then probably next meeting you must be able to read that script where I can find out, because you have only few more days. 10 days is too short a time for such an activity, I'll tell you.
I know.
Create a script and read in between. You should have these headings very clearly. A presentation or an essay or a writing or a class is good when you have different headings. So book is also written not by text, it is written first titles. So first write down objective, what are the steps, what are the problems, all these, the heading which I already told you. I don't know whether I have written. If you have not written, re-listen to my video. So when you do that, what something which came to my mind, I am just seeing and telling you, that's it. Okay. It may have many more. So you should have such headings and put the text below that and create a script. Practice it well.
Okay, doctor.
Yes, Shanaf. We can't hear you, Shanaf.
Shanaf is muted.
Sir, is it audible? Sorry, doctor, is it audible?
Yeah, I am able to hear you.
Yeah. In the instruction, the competition instruction pamphlet, I have seen a note that is given as videos will be judged on their scientific accuracy and creativity and the ability to poster a spread of 20. 3 parameters are given that. So we have discussed the first one, scientific accuracy, so far. And the second, creativity, we can do ourselves. And the third one, the ability to foster a spirit of unity. What they are meaning in this?
I told you it is a collaborative effect. The word, when you say collaborative, you are uniting the scientific community together.
Yeah, the international collaboration.
Actually, the first sentence of Department of Space, Sarabhai mentioned. You look at the quote what Sarabhai has given when establishing Department of Space. Our aim is not to compete with any world power. It is only to hold our shoulders up, saying that we also know, we also have that ability. So it is not to compete with anybody. That is what is to be understood very clearly. So we are collaborating with all the people. That's why I told you we need help in the zero gravity or low gravity life. We need a lot of international collaboration, then only things will happen. How much you understood this? And see, whenever we should know this is our vision, this is the mission, this is what action which we can take. There is a great vision. We want to land in moon. What is the mission? Mission is not landing now. Mission is to send a robot, stay there for some time. See, when we wanted first, we did not send a lunar mission to land on moon. We wanted to take circumambulation around the moon. Understand the atmosphere first. Go around it. That's how it is done.
Yes.
Logically right. Then it becomes very clear. You are very correct.
Doctor, may I ask you another question?
You don't ask this question, you come straight away. I am here to answer your question. So that question is already over, right? Let me ask you one question, is itself is a question. So don't waste time on that. Yeah.
can we generate the atmosphere on the moon? Is it feasible?
Moon is not a small jar, right? It's a huge
Yeah,
space. You understand the circumference and what is atmosphere thickness for Earth? You tell me.
thickness of
From the ground,
atmosphere.
from the troposphere, from the mud, up to what height you have atmosphere on Earth?
Until the exosphere.
I am asking
I don't
you.
know the
I am asking you the number. Don't Google.
accurate.
I am not here to ask the Google. I am only asking you. I know you are reading and answering. He is also looking at it. I want how much you learned. I am not testing your knowledge whether you can Google or not.
Openly.
It is 140 kilometers.
I don't know.
It's 140 kilometers.
Yeah.
Okay. Avaha pravaha uddaha stada upara purva gauvaha. There are chantings on this. So when 140 kilometers, when we are able to stand here, assume atmosphere is not there. It is not part of gravity. Atmosphere is also part of gravity. So when Earth
It's part of pressure.
when Earth is revolving, Earth is rotating, the atmosphere is also part of the Earth. So don't think Earth means only the ground with the mud. Earth means the gravity is also part of it. Otherwise, the Earth is moving, gravity, the atmosphere is not moving, we would all been flown away from this ground long back. So, along with the Earth, atmosphere is also moving. In moon also, there is an atmosphere. There is a gravity. There is a gravity, but it is much less. Last time I asked a question. Find out how much is the gravity, how much is the atmosphere depth. Then it's already there. What Tanuj is asking is, Pranav is asking is, do you want this atmosphere to be created in lunar? Not possible. Because they have their own atmosphere. Your atmosphere in your house is different from the atmosphere in a different house. I cannot survive in somebody's house because that atmosphere is not good for me, right? Okay, so what is essential is, you must not try to recreate the atmosphere. We are trying to manage. When I go to somebody's house as a guest, will I change the atmosphere there, or I manage because I am only staying there few minutes, no, or maybe few hours, or as a guest for some time? Why should I change? I am not trying to change. I am only trying to adjust there. That's it.
We're going to add it and adjust.
Yeah. So don't mention such things. No, we are going to change the atmosphere of moon to make it livable. Aye. It's impossible, and that means you have no idea about the science.
We're going to give trials.
It's all for experiment and research. That's it. Many times we went to, you also look at, we went to the equator, we went to different parts of the world. It is not to settle there. People go for exploration. Got it? Antarctic, we don't go to change the atmosphere in the Antarctic and then make their palaces, right? We are going to establish a center of research there. That's the only thing.
Yes, doctor. What are the possible ways to establish life on the moon?
We don't establish life. I told you, the objective is very clear. That is not something which can be looked at. We can only grow some plants. That is how we start. Create water to survive there. There are so many steps to be done before establishing life, right?
Yeah, doctor. After we complete all of those steps, like what can we do next?
That's a very, very long sighted vision. I don't think we are matured enough to think about it now.
Okay.
To more than that,
But
what
doctor,
we
I have a
need,
doubt.
more than that, what we need is a resource which are required for our life, right? See, there are so many different problems. How do you recycle the waste? Assume that you are there for some time. Where do you get water? Water extraction is possible. How do you generate energy? Is it only the solar light which can be used for generating energy? How long the battery can survive? When we are sending satellites to go around like IRS, INSAT, it has got a lifespan. Okay, whether the greenhouse effect can be recreated, whether the radiation will become so hazardous people cannot. Which are all the living conditions, including research laboratory, needs to be understood very carefully. There are many problems on space shuttle. So I want all of you to look at moon is too far. We have created space labs which are not above the atmosphere. It is slightly above the atmosphere, but not too far from the above atmosphere means too far from the space. No. 140 kilometers you can make it, it also revolves around. You make it 200 kilometers, yes, you can have a floating lab. So look at all the space labs. What do people do there? What are the activities which are happening? What are the experiments people do there? Maybe a small replica of that can be done in moon. That's it. Not more than that.
Moon is useful for creating telescopes. Is that moon is useful for creating telescopes and having easy view? Is that true?
It is not creating telescope. See, I was there in Himalayas. I went to Kailash. So when we go to from India, we are seeing moon of this size, say, which I can draw on my palm. When I go to Himalayas, when I go to Kailash, the top nearly 6,000 feet or 8,000 feet or 10,000 feet above, the moon will look this big. With the naked eye, I can see everything. Recently, my son was there in Morocco. He had taken a beautiful picture of the sky. If you look at the sky, it looks so beautiful because you are much more a different environment, pollution-free place. Things look entirely different. So in the moon, what is expected is you are in a different altitude. It is not creating telescope. You have misread that. I have a telescope which I can see because I am seeing from a different height. I can see other planets, other things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So if I am not able to see some other portion of the land, I may climb on top of the mountain so that I can see the other side of the land, right? Same way, I go to the moon so that I can see the different area which I may not be able to see from Earth. See, for example, I want to see the whole Earth. I have to stay away from Earth. That is why some of the beautiful sceneries of China Wall and all, we have a picture, beautiful picture. Nowhere from Earth you can take a picture of China Wall. You have to be away from Earth. So similarly, when you go to moon, probably we can look from moon how the Earth looks like, right? These are all something which can be
Yeah,
done.
doctor. You're telling from moon we can. Sir, doctor, actually I've researched something. The scientists say that from moon we can. Moon doesn't have a proper atmosphere, so we can easily get clear images. But since Earth has an atmosphere, thick atmosphere, we get space images so blurry.
See, when atmosphere is there, the light will get refraction. I remember one of my friend from Dubai had sent a beautiful picture when he was traveling from Sharjah to Dubai. He took a picture and said, beautiful sky. Why beautiful? Because it looks red, very clean, right? Today morning, I got one of my students that sent me a beautiful picture of one of the beaches. It looks so beautiful in America. But then immediately I said, yeah, it is reddish. In India, if such a picture comes, immediately I will say it is full of dust. Because dust makes refraction, therefore sky looks reddish. In the evening, it looks blue because sunlight is passing through large distance. Noon, it looks white because it is only 140 kilometers through the atmosphere. But here, the reason is not that. It is full of snow and mist that also give refraction. So, atmosphere is not there doesn't mean the picture is clear. The temperature is too low. If it is full of ice, will you be able to take a picture on the other side of the ice?
No, doctor.
So use logic to ask questions like this. The earth has able to see because the atmosphere gives a refraction, irradiation. The light goes inside the atmosphere, it gives reflection. I am able to see you, you are able to see me because the light gets a reflection from my face, it goes to the camera. So without reflection, it doesn't come. Something has to be there to reflect. Moon is very good because moon itself has no light, it is only a mirror. In Bharatiya Shastram, we consider moon as a mirror. Chaya, mirror. I remember my wife wrote a beautiful poem. She is the one who found all the craters on moon. She is the one who mapped the moon with the two images. And when that was made, she found lot of holes on the moon. So she wrote a beautiful poetry. Now poets cannot write, look at Prema ma'am's face and say Chandramukhi. Earlier, Chandramukhi means beautiful face. Now Chandramukhi means lot of holes. Correct? Your imagination becomes wrong.
For me, Chandramukhi means horror.
Prema is muted, beta.
I said, Anuj, you are comparing it to a film, right? So that's why for you the movie resonates.
Yeah.
As facts resonate, that's all.
So I
What
think
happened last
I have
time?
given lot of stuff for you to think and work.
Yes.
Actually, I made the frame for you to write down the headings and fill your items there.
Okay.
But most of the questions which you asked seems to be reading from somewhere irrelevant, not in very systematic style. I think you should become very systematic in writing the way in which it has to be presented. Not bad. We have got
I
another
have got
12 days. Yeah.
So, Tanuj and Amber, let us get these steps listed down, okay? And then now you are communicating to your teachers outside the group. Please start communicating. So Doc also will be able to connect in case you are using a wrong. You understand? Yeah? Did you get the steps? Today I have listed it down. What about you? Did you write the steps that you should take before creating a video? Did you? No. We talked about the steps.
No, last time I didn't post with your pictures and all that because I was only speaking and it was more like mathematics, physics, chemistry and all that. Shall I post this as it is to the YouTube? So you can re-listen to that and then make the points.
We will. And then thank you for your time, Doctor.
And comment there when anyone, last time also I said, if you land upon any video, comment there, look at it. I told last time also I have given a speech on the space lab which I opened in Jaipur, which is also due to Prema's courtesy. Okay, so I also mentioned there the items. I said when you look at the YouTube, write down the comment there so that I know you looked at it. Every day. Today morning also I had a student who was discussing on astrophysics, astronomy. So I must have mentioned so many centers. In India also there are so many centers who do research on the atmosphere of Earth, different astrophysics. There are many. If you type in astrophysics DrTPS, you will see so many such ones.
Doctor, in fact, there are planets that can support more complex life than Earth.
The problem with the students are when I am saying something, there is no reflection, no reaction. What questions have to be asked, that only will ask. I think the mannerism, today morning also I was telling the student, I will post that tomorrow. It is not astrophysics which I taught. I taught how to communicate well. Very bad South Indians' biggest problem is you have to teach them the mannerism. I am telling you have to do this. There has to be a reflection saying, yeah, I am going to do it. Otherwise, tell that I have gone through that. It's all rubbish. I don't have faith in you. I am not going to look at it. Both are fine.
Adarsh and Tanuj.
I will look into it, doctor.
Yeah.
Sorry
Yeah,
for the inconvenience.
Learn
Yeah,
how.
you need
You have to have that. Otherwise, what will happen? No, when you present something, when in international conference also somebody presents, if you are having a blunt face and you have only one question which you are written down, you want to ask, that means you are not listened to that earlier one.
Yes, doctor.
Adarsh. Did you get it, Adarsh?
Next time I'll show that I
Yeah.
wrote.
We were discussing about watching the YouTube where Dr. TPS now has a lot of activity. The latest being the space station in Jaipur, right? So what should you immediately say? Fine. Or you could have asked, okay, doc, where can I get the link to that YouTube? Can I comment? Will I be able to take something from that? So when you hear something, you need to respond.
Yeah.
So basically, to interact one.
Yeah, Tanuj has got some question. What was that question? In other planets?
In other planets, exoplanets, so scientists have discovered that exoplanets have more complex life supports than the Earth.
You tell me which is the other planet. Give me one example.
Kepler 22b.
These are all too much of a hypothetical question, right? Last time I asked to see the Martian movie. Mars is one which is very close where something can be possibly done. At least a film was made for that, nothing more. So look at it.
I watched the Martian movie.
Yeah. So it is
Sir,
there.
I have-
It is there
but
already,
I
right?
haven't-
The small seeds which wanted to grow and make a small plant there. How much effort they have, you can look at it.
Colonies.
Yeah. Yeah, Adarsh, what you wanted to ask?
I haven't watched the movie yet, Doctor. So yeah, today when I went to the school, I watched the review of the movie. I mean, the voiceover. The voiceover. Voiceover. So I understood the story. Tomorrow I will watch the movie.
That will be a good one to understand how do you put the scientific things in your presentation.
Yes, Doctor.
But don't quote to such movies. In scientific presentation, don't quote. It's only to make your creativity up.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, that's enough.
Let's just filter the information from the movie and leave the other stuff.
To make your imagination up. The curiosity up.
Okay. Sorry, Rita, thank you so much. Both the teachers are having issues of
Yeah, no issue.
internet. Okay, we'll do some work together. Now the children have started to come to school. These two are coming to school from, so I think more work can happen rather than virtual things that, and then we'll start communicating in the WhatsApp so that wherever there is any need for you to intervene, do so, and we take guidance.
No,
Okay.
there can be some
Thank you,
update.
Doctor.
No, some questions. You need not wait for this to happen. The questions.
Yes.
Suppose some
Right,
questions
right.
are there, I can give you reference. So look at this website or something can be
Right.
done. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. This evening itself we'll connect. We start posting some. We'll do that, Doc. Okay. Thank you, Doc. Get Adarsh and
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Doctor.
Bye bye.
Bye, Doctor.
See you. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Doctor.
Take care. Your heavy storm weather is not very conducive there, right?
Yes, Doctor. Not